Okay, we'll take a last call for if anyone has a teammate or two missing. So please ask them to join quickly. We'll start in a minute or so. Okay, Sujit, are we good to start?
Yes, Srinivasa.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the MELA quiz prelims. Thank you all for joining in. As you know, this quiz is brought to you by Conquistadors, the quiz society from Sri Venkateshwar College, in collaboration with the Northeast Student Welfare Association. As you know, this is the culmination of 3 quizzes we've had. We had the Gen quiz on Friday, we had the India quiz yesterday, and this is the MELA quiz prelims that we have. This quiz is a collaborative effort among 7 QMs. I'm just going to be running the prelims on behalf of everyone. So again, thank you everyone for joining in. This for a noble cause, and throughout the quiz, you will see a link to for donation, a QR code for donation. Please feel free to donate as much as you can. Please remember that this quiz is being held for a very, very important and good cause, and all proceeds from this quiz will go will find a good end. So please feel free to donate. Please feel free to ask your friends and your relatives to donate as well. So yeah, I see a couple of people are asking for teammates. If you guys can just link up between yourselves, that would be great. Okay, we'll just okay, I think we're at 4:45 now. So the prelims form has been shared with you. So please have the form open with you. We'll just go through the questions one by one. You'll see the questions on screen. You'll also see the accompanying visuals with them. For each question, it has been specified what exactly is being asked for each question. So please make sure that you only answer the relevant part, not very long answers are required. Okay, yes. Acknowledgements. A huge thanks to Arush, Bharat, Divya, Jivanesh, Christy, Romana, Shreyasi, Shruti, Sujit, and Tanisha for helping out with the logistics of the quiz. Great, thank you, and for making this effort come alive. And again, a reminder for the QR code on the top right. We'll move to the rules. So there are 20 questions in total for this prelims. Question number 11 to 15 are star marked. These questions going ahead will be used to resolve ties because only the top 8 teams will go to the finals. And in case of a tie, we will be using star mark to differentiate between the teams. Throughout the quiz, blanks are indicative and they will represent the length of each word. So please make sure that you use that information to your advantage. And yeah, I would request all contestants to please switch on their cameras and have their hands visible in a way so that we can always see your hands on the screen. I understand that might be a bit uncomfortable, but this is to maintain the integrity of the quiz. Also, yeah, please don't use any unfair means. Remember, this is like a quiz for a good cause. This is a charity quiz. It goes to a good end. So, you know, please make sure you play a fair game, play it well, and hope you have fun. Is there anyone who has any questions before we start with the prelims? I will take that as confirmation. I think we're good to go. It's 4:46. Let's start. We'll move to question number 1. Yeah. So Jack Vance was a prolific American sci-fi writer who has won multiple accolades throughout his life. So his legacy lives on by this undead wizard that you see over here. And this legacy of his was represented in a very famous pop culture connection very recently. So what I want you to tell me is who is this character on the right that you see here, who also lends its name to a big bad, like a sort of a villain, I would say, from recent pop culture. So think about like recent baddies or villains in pop culture that you might have come to know recently, which should help you get to the answer. This is for Jack Vance. I'll give 10 more seconds. All right, we'll move to the next question. Question 2. What you see in this image here is a painting called The Attack. Now, this is a visual representation of like the possibility of annexation for this artist's homeland by a stronger, more aggressive power. Now, this aggressive power is still relevant in today's context as it is involved in a similar conflict where you could say that an aggressive annexation might be happening. So I'm looking for two nations. Again, like we need both nations for the full points. The image is extremely helpful. If you look at the victim in this image, there are certain visual elements that should help you get to the answer. Again, would request everyone to keep their camera on and have their hands on the screen at all times. So looking for two nations in the answer. If it would help, the homeland of the artist is the nation that is being attacked. If you know the artist, that would be helpful for you. We'll stay here for 5 seconds. And
order matters, or
no, it does not. Does not. All right, we'll move to the next question. Question 3. So Bloodywood is an Indian metal band from New Delhi, and in the debut tour, they began the debut tour after the release of the single Machi Bhasad, which had a lot of political message, and it was celebrating the power of new generation. The tour also seek to celebrate the fact that it was like, it was political. It was supposed to be opposing an oppressive regime, and to celebrate this fact, they decided to name their tour after a similar self-titled musical work. So think of bands with self-titled albums, and think of the context of this music. Think the fact that it was very political. It was celebrating the power of a new generation. It was, it had a lot of opposition to oppressive regimes. So think of this, think of what self-titled word you can have there, and replace one word from there to fit it into an Indian context. Think of famous bands that have political message, a lot of political messages in the song. Think of, like a self-titled album, and replace just one word from that album to fit it into an Indian context. When I say fit it into an Indian context, what I'm looking for is a name, like a very common Indian name, a very common Indian male name, that if you fit into the name of this musical act, you will get what we're looking for. Okay, did the screen just drop?
So sorry, I'll just start sharing my screen again.
Sure. No, sure. Are you able to share, or do you want me to?
Yeah, just a second. I'll just share.
Sure. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Yeah. So again, Bloodywood. So we're looking for what was the name of their tour after the debut single was released. The name of this tour mirrors a musical act somewhere else, and like if you replace the name of the act with a very common Indian name, you will get what their tour was named. I think we'll move on from this question. We'll go to question number 4. So there's a British American journalist, Louis. You must have heard him. He's been recently very popular. So he had recorded an old track sometime back as part of his 2000 documentary. So one of the fellow rappers with whom Lewis wrote. So Lewis recently has become popular because of his rendition of a rap song, basically. So, one of the rappers who helped Lewis write this track elaborated about how the track starts, basically, signifying that all you have are dollars instead of dimes, quarters or nickels, and thus whatever you have doesn't make noise. So taking this into context, that the part that, you have dollars, so, it doesn't make noise. What viral rap track did Lewis write with the help of these rappers? So basically, recently, you must have seen this guy, he has been viral very recently. So we're looking for what exactly is the title of the rap track that Louis wrote. This track was a part of his 2000 documentary, and it has recently gained a lot of popularity. So think about, he has dollars, not nickels or dimes, hence it doesn't make any noise. That should help you get to the answer. Okay, just looking for the title of the track. We'll stay here for 5 more seconds. All right, we'll go to the next question, question number 5. Yeah, so what you're looking at is the opening image of Amrita Patil's graphic novel, in which the author depicts both Ruth and Curry. Now, this image that you see is an homage to a very famous self-portrait by a female artist, which depicts two versions of herself. One which exists in what you'd call Western clothing, and one it is in the traditional clothing of the female artist. Now, the meaning of this painting is widely discussed, and it has multiple interpretations. But what we're looking for is what is the famous painting? We're looking for the name of the painting, not the artist. Is this panel inspired by? So think about, a very famous female artist, one of the most famous female artists. Look at, look at the fact that it's a self-portrait. That should help you point to the context of who the artist was. And, we're looking for one very famous painting by this particular female artist. So from which this particular panel was inspired by. All right, we're looking for the name of of the painting. Again, a reminder, name of the painting, not the artist. All right, we'll move to the next question. Again, a reminder, there's a QR code on the top right. Please feel free to donate and spread the good word. So Dash was a beloved 90s cultural magazine, which was telecasted every Sunday on Doordarshan with a theme of Indian culture. It was one of the longest running cultural series in India. And it also had a section called Sawal and Jawab, which should be of interest to us. So because like at the time there was not a lot of technology that was present, so like kids used to send the answers using like a 15 paise postcard. So because of like it was so popular that at one point even the India Post had to release a new form of how you basically send responses. So they had like a specific way of how you could send responses to them. So I'm looking for two things. One, like which show is this? Okay. And the second, like, what did India Post basically like, introduce as a response for the popularity of this show? So your answer should have two parts. The first is the name of the show. And the second part should have what did this specifically introduce? So this certain thing has a name. Okay. So you can't say generic, you can't just say water bottle. You have to say, a green water bottle, for example. So I'm looking for the name of the show and what did India Post introduce? Sawal jawab. The postcard answer. We'll wait here for 10 more seconds. All right, we can go to the next question. Question 7. So translated as Let No One Sleep, it is an aria from the final act of a Puccini opera and is one of the best known tenor arias in all opera. It is sung by Caliph, who falls in love at first sight with a beautiful but cold princess. In this aria, Caliph expresses his assurance that he will win the princess. This can be heard in the crescendo of the aria as well. Now, it became famous in the 1990s because after in the 1990, Luciano Pavarotti did a rendition of it for the 1990 World Cup, and since then it has been used often in a lot of sporting contexts and in a lot of cultural and like entertainment contexts as well. And most recently, you must have heard it in Mission. If you've seen Mission Impossible: Rogue Nation, the scene is set. When the opera itself is being performed, a certain scene from the movie is being set while this certain opera is being performed. So what I'm looking for is the aria that was sung. Like Luciano Pavarotti is a big hint. Like it's probably one of his most popular performances till date. Even if you're not someone who is like into opera or into that side of music, so you should still have a guess as to what it is. So it became very popular after Pavarotti's performance of it in the 1990 World Cup. Most recently seen on the big screen in Mission Impossible: Rogue Nation. What is the name of this aria? What it translates to is Let No One Sleep. If you know what nationality Puccini is, that should help you maybe zero down on what language the name it could be. All right, we'll give 5 seconds and we'll move on. All right, we'll go to question number 8. So what you see on the right is is the Hungarian poster for Pedro Almodovar's 1988 film, Women on the Verge of a Nervous Breakdown. So this poster was made by Sandor Rack-Molnar. Now, what we're looking for is like looking at the title of the film, which is Women on the Verge of a Nervous Breakdown. A 1937 painting was chosen as being very apt both in the context of the image and also in the name of the movie. Okay, using the name of the movie. So what we're looking for is which 1937 painting was used very appropriately as the cover of this particular poster, for this particular poster. So if it helps, the 1937 painting is by a extremely well-known artist, probably one of the most well-known artists of all time. So looking at that and looking at the title of the movie, which is Women on the Verge of a Nervous Breakdown, what 1937 painting was used in this poster? Again, in this, we are specifically looking for the painting, not the artists themselves. (1937) painting, Women on the Verge of a Nervous Breakdown. Okay, I think we'll move on to the next question. Question number 9. Okay. If the names of the second and third are Stub and Flask, and they are accompanied among others by Q Keg, who are in the 2 positions above Stub and are much more commonly thrown around at quizzes? Now, what the answer to this question is basically like something that is very commonly asked in quizzes, is like is a mainstay, you could say, in MELA quizzes, but like not a lot is known beyond the I don't want to give it. Okay, a lot is known about the characters, beyond the ones that are usually thrown around in quizzes. So this is like an indication of like there being more characters than the ones that are more usually known. So basically, if the name of the second and third is Stub and Flask, so who are the 2 positions above Stub? So think of the fact that it says positions. So you can work out like a hierarchy, and you can maybe understand like who would be in what situation would there be a hierarchy, and like who would be at the top of the hierarchy. And think of 2 names. 2 names that are very commonly thrown around in MELA quizzes. All right. I think we'll move on. Question number 10. Again, a reminder, there's a QR code on the top right for donations. Please feel free. We wish to inform you that Tomorrow We Will Be Killed with Our Families is a non-fiction book written by Philip Gorovich. The book describes Gorovich's travels in a particular country, in which he interviews survivors and agitators, and he gathers information. The title comes from a letter by a pastor to his church president, who was later convicted in a court on human rights, on the basis of like human rights playing a role in the war. So while the book retells survivor stories from the Civil War, what we want to know is which country is being talked about. So in which country did Gorovich travel, and where he was where the church head was later convicted for basically like violation of human rights in that war. So what we're looking for is like this book is retelling survival stories from civil strife in which country? I will give a hint for this one. The country is in Africa. Looking for the country, and we'll move to question number 11. Please note that question number 11 to 15 are star marked. Yeah, let's go ahead. So this particular group became the subject of controversy after this painting was revealed to the public. It was considered blasphemous by many notable people at the time, one of whom was notably Charles Dickens. He considered the Mary that was depicted in the painting was ugly, and not according to the biblical depiction of Mary. And also this group's advocacy of medievalism was attacked as backward looking for the time. Like think of the timeline now, Charles Dickens had reviewed it. So think of the timeline, and their advocacy of medievalism was seen as backward looking. and its extreme devotion to detail was seen as, a departure from the prevailing art style at the time, and was seen as ugly and jarring to the eye. So if we'll go to the next slide, we have like a full-sized image. Can you go to the next slide? Yeah. So this is the full-sized image. So you can see like the depiction of Mary in the center here was considered as ugly, and the group also came under a lot of criticism because of their advocacy of medievalism, and their attention to detail was also considered as uh, not in touch with the art trends of the time. So what we're looking for is a group. Basically, the artist was like a leading member of a particular group of artists for the time. The timeline is helped by the fact that Charles Dickens was a very vocal advocate of it. That should help you narrow down the timeline. So what I'm looking for is a group, or like a self-declared group of artists. What did they call themselves? They were known for like their advocacy of medievalism and a lot of painstaking attention to detail in their paintings. All right, yeah, back to the question. We'll stay here for 5 seconds if anyone wants to read the text. Okay, we'll move on to question number 12. The forgotten one, as you can see in this image, is a Marvel character who is also a member of the Hidden Races. He has also been a member of the Avengers. In his latest on-screen outing, he goes by the name Dash. Now, Dash was an ancient mythological hero and the protagonist of an epic poem written in Akkadian. He was possibly a historical king of the city of Uruk who was posthumously deified. Identify this hero. Now think of famous ancient epic poems. The fact that it's an epic poem should help you get closer to the answer. And like recently, in its most recent on-screen avatar, you must have seen him called as Dash. Okay. Yeah, the name takes from a ancient epic poem written in Akkadian. Identify this particular hero. Okay, we'll go on to question number 30. So Himanshu Suri's solo mixtape Nehru Jackets is a 25-song tribute to Queens and the children of migration. This cover was ranked in like top 25 album covers of 2012 by Complex magazine and was created by Akash Nihalni. It is a tribute to one of the oldest brand names in India, and it makes Heems look like the mascot all grown up. So think about famous brands in India, and like what could be an interpretation of one of the brand mascots all grown up. So what respected brand is the album cover based on? So I'm basically looking for a brand, with a very famous mascot, with a very identifiable mascot. And, like what it was basically used was a grown up version of that particular mascot. So think of like, what particular very famous, extremely famous brand in India has a child mascot. Extremely recognizable, available everywhere. Like does not is a brand that is not restricted by age or like any other boundaries. Is universally accepted and loved. So think about what could be.
What is Heems? What is that word Heems over there?
Or
is that him?
Yeah, it's a typo basically. Yeah, it refers to basically Himanshu. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. That's a typo over there. I apologize for that. Okay. So like, what respected brand is the album cover based on? All right, we'll go ahead. Question number 14. So in this particular episode of Dickinson, Emily Dickinson is trying to stop her favorite tree. Like she has a particular favorite tree, and it is about to be felled for to make way for a railway track. And so to help make a case for the felling of the tree to be stopped, she takes the support of a famous naturalist of the time, which in this particular scenario is being played by John Mulaney. However, she finds that, like, the naturalist who she goes and approaches for help is, like, is not all who he is pegged up to be, and is a privileged slacker, a stereotypical neckbeard who lives in his mother basement and rants about society on Twitter. So this is again, the second part of the description is taken from Bustle. It's not from the show itself. It's not historically accurate. Twitter is not historically accurate, but yeah. So what she finds out is basically this naturalist that she goes out and seeks advice from. She finds him to be as a sort of a phony, a fake, and as someone who is interested in talking more than actually acting out his ideals or ideas. So basically what we're trying to find is this, in this scenario, who does Emily Dickinson reach out to? A fellow contemporary in her field as well, who is being played by John Mulaney in this particular scenario. So who is this? Who is this less than impressive naturalist that Emily Dickinson seeks out, to much to her disappointment, looking for the name of Dickinson's contemporary? All right, we'll go on to question 15. So like the trailer for this Tamil movie Maya, I'm sorry for the pronunciation beforehand, delves into fantastical technology harnessing the power of goods with the temple complex. Now, different aspects of temple technology pose a challenge to the archaeologists and idol smugglers that are trying to uncover hidden treasure. Now once they see the very like the advanced contraptions and the technology that was already perceived and created by an ancient civilization, the character, who is played by Tanya Ravichandran, exclaims a line in awe and belief. Now this dialogue is now an iconic phrase now that has become very famous over the world sometime, because over the last 5 years or so, it has gained a lot of popularity around the world. So what I'm looking for is, what is this phrase that in this particular context points out the fact that conventional knowledge cannot explain the temple's awesome features. So think of a phrase that seeks to be an explanation, or like an explanation for the lack of an explanation, if that helps. Something which says that this ancient civilization, like had features and technology available to them that cannot be explained by
How many
what
words
is
is the phrase?
I'll say, yeah. Okay, so the phrase that I'm looking for is 4 words.
And it's not in Tamil, right?
No, it's not. It's in English. Yeah, not looking for a Tamil phrase, and an English phrase, which has gained popularity all over the world, and is now can be seen as a sort of an explanation for the lack of explanation for ancient civilizations, technologies, and prowesses. Okay, so this is the last of the star mark questions. We are done with the 5 star mark questions for this quiz. We will now move on to question number 16. Yeah. we have a video. Let's watch the video.
Was Angela. Fearless, spontaneous, honest. About herself just as much as she was about the world around her. She had grace, courage, and an unmatched zest for life. She may be gone, but her voice will live on in DVD and Hulu Plus and tiny droid projected messages. I may have lost a boss, but heaven has gained a princess. And I am at the wrong funeral.
Yeah.
Was
Okay, we
Angela.
can pause.
Fearless, spontaneous.
Yeah. Can we go back to the question? Yeah. So basically, we'll play this again. So what we're looking for is which famous personality in Family Guy has given the voice of Angela. Now if you look at how Peter is paying eulogy to this particular character, there are a lot of hints and a lot of references outside of the show's context that should help you get there. So we'll just play it quickly once more and we'll move on to the next question.
Was Angela. Fearless, spontaneous.
Yeah, we can fast forward to 1 minute or so.
Webster's defines class as a group of students gathered at a preordained time for the purposes of education. About herself just as much as she was about the world around her. She had grace, courage, and an unmatched zest for life. She may be gone, but her voice will live on in DVD and Hulu Plus and tiny droid projected messages. I may have lost a boss, but heaven has gained a princess.
Yeah, we can go to the next question. Yeah, a lot of hints there.
And I am at the
if there helps, the timeline is again late 2016. Okay, we'll go to question number 17. Now, earlier this year, certain celebrity was diagnosed with COVID-19, which is quite in the norm for during the pandemic. However, a lot of fans were quick to point out that this may have been a long time coming revenge because of a certain incident in this individual's past from about 4 decades ago. So we're looking for who is this figure, most likely once bitten, twice shy after his diagnosis. Now, if you've been a good person and you've attended all 3 quizzes and you've donated all money and you've donated money for all 3 quizzes, you might have found a reference in a previous quiz to this answer. So if nothing, this is a reminder for you to be a good person and use the QR code on the top right. All right, looking for a certain individual, a certain incident had happened in the past, close to 4 decades ago, which some were quick to point out that might be the reason why getting diagnosed with COVID-19 was sort of like a long time coming revenge. All right, we'll move on to the next question. Question 18. Yeah. So basically, once when this person was going through the airport, he was stopped by Dutch customs because like they thought that like a certain the person's possessions had a lot of images which the customs officials thought to be very disturbing and unnerving, and they thought them to be as photographs. But the person who was in question later said, where do you think it would be possible? Where on earth did they think I could have photographed my subjects? In hell, perhaps. So who are we talking about? So think of the fact that the custom officials thought, that they were photographs, and this person, replied with like, if these were to be photographs, it could be only that these things exist in hell. So think along those lines. Think of the fact that this is again Dutch customs. So someone was stopped at Dutch customs because of a few images that they had in their possession. The customs officials thought that they were photographs, but the person replied that it is absurd that they think these are photographs, because then it would be possible that I could have only photographed them in hell. So who are we talking about? Okay, we'll go on to question number 19. So natural language processing, NLP, is one of the methods that that is used for computers to make sense of human language in machine learning. So NLP as a concept has made great strides recently due to advancement in AI, which means that computers can now effectively learn how to process human language better. Now, due to the nature and the way these computers have to undergo, undergo training and understanding of how exactly to understand human language, researchers have come up with names for these models, such as embeddings from language models and bidirectional encoder representations from transformers. Now, the reason they are named this way is because it's supposed to be a reference to something that also mirrors this nature of learning in not only computers, but humans as well. So think of something, think of a certain reference that is used to help humans understand and learn better. And, what was and taking inspiration from this, the scientists have named their models accordingly. So think of where, as humans, you would encounter something that is helping you understand language better, and, is training you to process human language better. So this nature of learning, wherein, so if you know how machine learning works by teaching by repetition and, by training, so that should also help you understand. So look closely at the name of the models. Embeddings from language models and bidirectional encoder representations from transformers. So what are they a reference to? That also mirrors the nature of learning. Okay, we'll go to the last question of this quiz. Okay, yeah. So the basis for this famous children's novel was that the author had a memory of being sent test packages of new products from a major company to try for free in exchange for feedback while this particular author was at Repton. Now, because this company's headquarters happened to be nearby, the author also incorporated elements of this cutthroat business using industrial espionage and all the corporate espionage that happens. The author found a way to incorporate this into the novel as well. So what novel are we talking about? Inspired by the combination of this secrecy and the elaborate gigantic machines in the headquarters. So look at the fact that they're being sent test packages of new products to boarding schools and students. So that should help you like what kind of product it is. And the fact that, it had a lot of elements of like corporate and industrial espionage in there as well, that featured prominently in this particular children's novel. So what novel am I talking about? It was which had elements of secrecy, of espionage, and also huge gigantic machines that were located in the headquarters. Looking just for the name of a novel, not the author. All right, I think we'll cycle back. We'll go to question number 1. We'll just go back quickly. Yeah. We'll just have a quick run through of every question. I'll just give 10 seconds. I'll not read a lot. I'll not play any videos. I'll just go through quickly. So Jack Vance was a prolific American sci-fi writer. I'm looking for what this character has lent its name to, a very recently seen in pop culture, a recent pop culture villain. Next question. So this attack, I'm looking for two nations in this particular painting. So one is the aggressor and the other is the victim. So both of the nations I would require in an answer for full points. The order does not matter for this question. Question number 3. So Bloodywood's debut tour, the name of this tour is again a play on a musical act by replacing one word from the name of the musical act with a very common Indian name. Question 4. So you may not know Louis' work, but you must have seen him recently going viral, like singing a rap song. So, which takes its name from the fact that whatever money they have doesn't make any noise. So what viral rap track did Louis write? Question 5. What you see here is like an image from Amrita Patil's graphic novel. I'm just looking for which painting has this been inspired by, painted by one of the most famous female artists of all time. Again, looking for the name of the painting, not the name of the artist. Question 6. So looking for the name of this cultural magazine show that gained a lot of popularity, that was extremely popular among kids and adults alike in the 90s. And also because of the way responses were sent to the show, India Post had to come up with a new form of sending responses to the show. So what did India Post come up with? Question 7. So translated as Let No One Sleep, this famous aria was popularized by Luciano Pavarotti's performance in the 1990 World Cup. And since then, it has also been seen in Mission Impossible Rogue Nation. So I'm looking for the name of the aria. Pavarotti is a big clue. Question 8. This is the Hungarian poster for the movie Women on the Verge of a Nervous Breakdown. So which 1937 painting very aptly serves as the face that has been blanked out in this particular image? Question 9. So if the names of the second and third and Stubb and Flask and the others, so who are in the two positions above Stubb and are much more commonly known in quizzes, and a featured staple of MELA quizzes? We'll go on to question 10. So I'm looking for in which country was Gurevich traveling and from where he recounted his experiences from. As I gave a hint earlier, this country is in the continent of Africa. Question 11, star mark questions. So this particular group, this particular artist group came under a lot of criticism after this particular painting, and for the way they depicted Mary and their attention to detail, which was against the prevailing art trend of the time. So just looking for the name of the group, not the artist or the painting, just the name of the group. Question 12. So Forgotten One is a Marvel character. So he has been recently on screen by the name Dash. Now Dash was an ancient mythological hero and also the protagonist of an epic poem written in Akkadian. So looking for the name of the hero, look at the fact that it's an epic poem. Question 13. So Himanshu Sori's solo mixtape had a cover which was said to be like a grown-up version of one of the most famous brand mascots in India. So think about like young brand mascots and like like something that is universally popular across the country, across geographies and ages. Question 14. Yeah, so Emily Dickinson in this particular instance is trying to reach out to a famous naturalist, and but she is disappointed by the response, and she finds him a bustler. So who did Emily Dickinson reach out to? Question 15. So in this particular trailer, like the technology possessed by ancient civilizations is explained by a particular phrase that has found a lot of traction in the past 5 years. So I'm looking for what did she occur as an iconic phrase to explain the lack of explanation for these ancient technologies. Question star mark ends here. Question 16. So which famous person voiced the role of Angela? Will not play the video here. Again, she passed in late 2016. Question 27. Sorry, question 17. So this particular person was diagnosed with COVID-19. People thought this was not out of the ordinary after a 4-decade-old incident. So who is this figure? Question 18. So this person was stopped by Dutch customs because of the nature of the images that he possessed. The customs thought they were photographs, but the person retorted that they could have only taken the photographs in hell. So who are we talking about? Look at the fact that they're Dutch. Question 19. Yeah, these are NLP models. So these NLP models have names embeddings from language models and bidirectional encoder representation from transformers as a reference to something. So what are they referring to? The fact that they also mirror the nature of learning. Yeah, is also helpful. Question number 20, the last question. So this famous children's novel was inspired by the fact that a lot of products were sent over by a particular company for their boarding school, and then the children tried them out. So what novel is this that had elements of both secrecy, espionage, and also huge gigantic machines inside the headquarters? All right.
Can you just go to question 14?
Question 14. Okay, we'll very quickly go to question 14 once. Yeah.
No, sorry, 30. So it makes, sorry, it makes Himanshu look like the mascot.
Yes, like a grown-up version of the mascot. Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. We'll just give you a minute to wrap up your answers.
Hello.
And I'll just hello. Yeah.
For the sixth question, you need the painting's name, or would the painter suffice?
1 second. I'll just check question number 6.
Not the sixth one. I think previous one.
Fifth one. No, I need the name of the painting. Yeah, I need the name of the painting, not the artist. All right. I think we will. We can start submitting your Google Sheets now.
I'll just submit. I think.
Yeah. Okay. Please submit your Google Sheets now. Okay, I hope you've all submitted. We'll be closing the form link shortly in about 30 seconds. In the meantime, I would like to hand the mic over to Christy. Christy would like to take the mic.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. This is Christy. I'm the outgoing General Secretary of NESA. First of all, a big congratulations to our quiz masters as well as security for pulling up this quiz in such a short span of time. As you know, Assam is facing one of the worst flood crises of the season. And all your contributions, big or large, small or large, has make sure that it's going to be a huge help to everyone who's been affected by the floods. And I've said this before, and I'm going to remind you guys again that some of our volunteers from NESA are collecting donations in kind. So if you live in Delhi or anywhere near Venki, please feel free to contact any of the organizers, and we'll get you in touch with our volunteers so that you can make your preferred donation. Thank you so much. This has been a wonderful experience. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Christy. And again, I would like to remind everyone there's a QR code on the top right. Please feel free to donate as much as you can. Please feel free to share this QR code with your friends and family, and make sure that everyone can contribute. Every rupee counts. Every donation, big or small, is extremely helpful and is going towards a great cause. So please feel free to share the QR code. Okay. Organizers, have we closed the Google form?
Yes. Yes, the forms have been closed.
All right, good. Okay. Should we go run through the answers? Yeah, okay. So we'll go through. Okay, you can unmute and just yell out the answer.
Vecna.
Yes, absolutely. That is correct. Vecna is the correct answer. Good, and everyone who has got the points. So Vecna is the correct answer for the first one. Second,
Russia and Finland.
America and Samoa.
not America and Samoa. What was the first answer? Sorry,
Russia and Poland.
Not Russia and Poland.
Russia and Finland.
Russia and Finland is correct. If you look at the blue and white dress of the victim, that would have helped you. Finland and Russia is absolutely correct. Question 3.
Raj Zeppelin.
Raj Against the Machine.
Is absolutely correct. So the title was Rage Against the Machine for the band. So replacing Rage with Raj will give you Raj Against the Machine. Good answer, everyone. So question 4.
Money Don't Jiggle Jiggle.
Is absolutely correct. I should have forced you to sing it actually, but yeah, it is My Money Don't Jiggle Jiggle, It Folds. That's absolutely correct. So anything like if you've missed a word or two, that is fine. Like as long as the gist of the answer is there, we're good with that. Question 5.
Two Fridas.
Absolutely. This is the two Fridas
Do
or
you
last
have
first
part
Frida.
point for Fredas? If just Freda.
No, I will not. I specifically said I need the name of the painting, not the artist. Yeah. So the two Fridas is what I want. Good answer. Yeah. 6.
Surabhi and competition postcards.
Is absolutely correct. So the show is Surabhi, and India Post introduced these special competition postcards that was sent to the show. Good answer. Yeah, question 7.
Nessun Dorma.
Nessun Dorma is correct. Nessun Dorma from Turandot. So this is Pavarotti's famous rendition of Nessun Dorma from Puccini's Turandot. So Nessun Dorma is the only acceptable answer for this. Question 8.
The Scream.
Not the Scream.
Is it like Mary and so Mary's face from the Guernica?
No, it's not.
Is this Dora Maar?
Women.
The artist is correct from Guernica, but yeah.
Is it Dora Maar?
It is not.
Weeping Women.
Is it the Ladies of Avignon?
The Weeping Women by Picasso is correct. Yeah. So the Weeping Woman as an allegory to women on the verge of a nervous breakdown. Absolutely correct. We'll go to question 9.
Moby Dick.
This is Ishmael and Starbucks.
Not Ishmael and Starbuck.
Ahab and Starbuck.
Ahab and Starbuck is correct. So it is Captain Ahab and his first mate Starbuck.
Do
So
we get part points for one correct and one wrong? Like if I said Ahab and Ishmael.
Yes. Yeah, I think we'll give part points for this. Yeah, 0.5 for Ahab and 0.5 for Starbuck. Yeah, I think we'll do that. Question 10.
Rwanda.
Rwanda is absolutely correct. Absolutely. So the city of Arusha hosted the International Criminal Tribunal for Rwanda. Rwanda is absolutely correct. Star mark starts. Question 11.
Pre-Raphaelites.
Pre-Raphaelites is correct. The artist is MELA. So like what I'm simply looking for pre-Raphaelite. I'm not looking for MELA or I'm not looking for the name of the painting. I'm just looking for
I think we did a spelling mistake. We sort of shifted the E and the A. So is that fine?
That is absolutely fine. Yeah, that is not an issue. The spelling mistakes are fine as long as the gist of the answer is there. We're totally good with that.
Okay.
Question 12.
Gilgamesh.
Gilgamesh from the Epic of Gilgamesh is absolutely correct. Well done. All right.
Parle G.
Parle G is absolutely correct. So if you go to the image, so like a grown-up version of the mascot is what Himanshu was representing. So Parle G is what we're looking for. Good answer. Question 14.
Henry David Thoreau.
Henry David Thoreau is absolutely correct. So this is the naturalist Thoreau who rebuffed her attempts to save her train. So just Henry David Thoreau. The last name Thoreau works as well, if not the full name. Question 15.
This is Beyond Science.
Indeed, it is Beyond Science. That is absolutely correct. Question 15. This is Beyond Science. Star mark questions end.
Carrie Fisher.
Carrie Fisher is absolutely correct. Droids, Princess, all the references were there. Good crack by everyone. This is indeed Carrie Fisher.
Ozzy.
Ozzy Osbourne, for those with a keen eye in the Gen quiz as well, this was there also. So Ozzy Osbourne is correct for the bat eating incident 40 years ago. Question 18.
This is Rontgen and X-rays.
This is not Rontgen.
H.R. Geiger.
Geiger is correct. Geiger is absolutely correct. So this is Geiger's grotesque illustrations that he has made. So this led people to stop and think that they were photographs. All right, question 19.
It's Bert and Elmo from Muppets.
This is Sesame Street, right?
Bert and Elmo from Sesame Street is the answer, not the Muppets. So the model shortened themselves to Elmo and Bert. So what we're looking for.
We've written Elmo and Bert. Like what are you referring to? So we've written Elmo and Bert.
I don't think I can give points. Like I don't think I can give points to that.
I mean, the question wasn't specific enough, right? Like we were asked what were we referring to? We thought like Elmo and Bert. So like we wrote Elmo and Bert.
Fair enough. Like I will probably give it half a point because I was not very specific. So yeah, like I will accept that as not being specific enough. So I'll give you
like
half
we
a point.
Obviously knew Sesame Street, but Elmo and Bert.
Yeah,
we thought was.
Yes. Yeah. Probably the question was not specific enough. Yeah. Okay. Question 20.
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory is correct by Roald Dahl. So the espionage and the gigantic machines. So this is Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Okay. So for question number 19, if you've written Elmo and Bert, I'll give you half a point. Yeah, I had not specifically asked like which show it was from. I just asked the reference. So yeah. Okay. Okay, yeah, that brings us to the end of the prelims. The top 8 teams will proceed to the finals. Star mark questions will be used in case there's a tie. And yeah, the organizers will be contacting you in case you've qualified. So thank you for attending. And again, please feel free to, throughout the quiz, there will be a QR code on the top right for donations. Please feel free to use that and share that with your friends and family and help us out in a good cause. So, yeah. Thank you everyone for attending.
What time do we expect the results for the finals?
Organizers, can you give us a timeline?
Yeah, I think we'll be able to announce the results in an hour or so. We'll announce it on the group.
All right, yeah, okay.
Cool. Thank you, everyone.